Today I had my wife join me for this review of the Romatlink Dolphin electric foldable bike because it has a rear rack carrying capacity of 135 pounds. So let's see how a $1,300 bike performs with 2 riders. Okay, so first is speed, and before I show you the difference between me and my wife, I want to talk about a few things that you can customize in the settings. First, you can change the pedal assist levels from 3 up to 9, and then set the amount of power that you want for each one of those levels. Here's the difference in speed when set to 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100% power. In P6, you can adjust the speed limit, which when set to the lowest level, doesn't really have that much of an effect. And then if you want to use the half twist throttle, that matches the same top speed I got with pedal assist of 24 miles per hour. All right, so with my wife on the back, it came close to the same speed with just me on the bike. It was only about 1 mile per hour slower. Now, how about acceleration? In the settings where it says SCN, that's where you can change the motor reaction time, which basically means how long it takes for the power to come on once you begin to pedal. Not a lot of difference between the two levels. Both are very slow off the line. In fact, I can only hit 22 miles per hour in one city block. Now, is the throttle any faster than pedal assist? The answer is just barely. I was curious to see how it would hold up to one of the biggest names in e-bikes. This is the Electric 3.0. And here's the difference in acceleration with pedal assist. And now with the throttle, that was closer than I thought it was going to be. For the first 20-30 feet, it was neck and neck. So the power off the line for a single rider is pretty average for bikes in this class. How about with 2 riders? As you would have guessed, it's much slower. You need about double the time to reach the same speed as you did with a single rider. Moving on to hill climbing ability, the bike is rated up to climb up to a 30% grade. I think that was wishful thinking on these guys' part. I couldn't make it up this 26% grade with and without momentum. The mechanical brakes did a pretty good job for the weight of the bike. I didn't like how much pressure you had to put in the levers. You really got to squeeze them for hard braking, but when you do, it actually stops pretty quick. Here's a look at how long it takes to stop between all 5 pedal assist levels. Now, since I had the electric with me, I wanted to see the difference in braking between the two. Electric has hydraulic brakes and weighs 60 pounds less, so I was expecting a much wider separation, but it was only about 5 feet. When I ran that test again and added my wife with just using the Dolphin, this time it took an additional 10 feet to stop. Overall, I was happy for the braking power with a single rider. If you plan on using this for 2 riders, I'd switch out to hydraulic. Now, the Dolphin has one of the biggest batteries I've seen for a bike in this class. It's a 48 volt, 30 amp hour Samsung battery. You can remove it by lifting up the saddle, unplugging it from the frame, then unlocking with the key, then you just grab the carrying handle and pull it out. The battery and therefore range is what you're really paying for with this bike. When I took this on a range test after I charged it up, which takes about 10 hours to do so, I didn't drain the battery all the way. I just didn't have the time or the desire to ride it until it was fully dead. It's just that big of a battery. When I got back to my house, I still had 3 battery bars left, and my app recorded 21.85 miles with 1,706 feet of elevation gain. My average speed was 21 miles per hour. The Dolphin's rated up to 80 miles with just the throttle and 100 miles on pedal assist. Now for my test, I just used straight throttle, but a potential of 100 miles for about a $1,200 bike is a pretty incredible range. Now let's talk about some things that I liked and didn't like. Starting off with the grips. I thought they were softer rubber, but they do move and need to be glued in place. Next, there's a standard Shimano SIS Index 7-speed shifter and turning derailleur, which is very common for bikes in this price range. But something that I didn't mention was the cruise control feature. 9, 10. And when you have the cruise on and you come down a hill, it does slow you down. Yeah, I got some resistance from the motor. It doesn't let you go much above 27, 28 miles an hour. So yeah, the brakes are hitting now. There's 29, but it's slowing down. The handlebars adjust to fit a rider 5'2" up to 6'4". I'm 5'11" and my wife is 5'4", and we both felt comfortable on it when we adjusted it to our height. I thought the wiring in front was a bit messy, and it's all external. The fenders are your standard cheap plastic. On the head tube, there's a plate to mount a basket, and for the seat in the back, there's a backrest. One thing I didn't like, especially when I put this in my truck, is how heavy it is. It's light in the front, you can easily pop up the front wheel, but in the back where the battery and the motor's at, it is very heavy. That's where most of the 93 pounds this bike weighs is at. And I thought the uneven weight distribution would have affected balance, but it really didn't. I like the handling, well, until I turned sharp and hit the pedals, as they are pretty low to the ground. As far as the overall feel of the bike, I gave it a 7 out of 10 because the battery does tend to rattle a little bit when you hit bigger bumps, and the handlebars squeak and pop where they fold down. The last couple things I liked are the CST 20x4-inch all-terrain tires, and then the front fork and seat post suspension, which is pretty awesome when hitting a speed bump at over 20 miles per hour. And if you decide to take this off-road, I think it'd be okay if you stuck to a well-traveled trail. You know, off-road is the place I really appreciate the throttle matching the pedal assist level. I've got it set to 3, got cruise control on, I can release it, and just have a nice crawling pace up this, you know, rougher terrain trail. And with shocks in this price range, you don't want to go super fast. So when you do hit a bump, it's not like terribly bad. And this trail is a green rated trail, so if you're a mountain biker, you'll kind of know what that is. That's the easiest rating, and usually green rated trails are just hard pack, a very entry level mountain bike trail. Overall, what you have here is just a basic bike. It's got a basic ride, a basic feel, a basic speed, basic acceleration, basic hill climbing ability. What's not basic is the range. The potential of hitting 100 miles for a bike that costs just over $1,200 is an awesome range for the price. So those are my thoughts, but I want to know what you guys thought about it. Is a longer range worth a less solid feeling bike? Tell me what you think in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching and take care.